cursive in elementary school. Is that everyone? Did anyone not? One. Okay. Many schools are no longer teaching cursive handwriting, but it's still very important and more beneficial than we actually realize. Many of us only think of cursive when we have to sign our name on something, but it's worth a lot more than that. I'm going to discuss why a bunch of people don't think it's necessary to learn cursive anymore. Then I'll explain to you how it is beneficial, and I will talk about the artistic and historical importance of cursive writing as well. So many argue that cursive is outdated and irrelevant, so that's why a lot of schools aren't teaching it anymore. There are multiple reasons why one might think this. In an article published in the New York Times, Morgan Polikoff presents some of these. He said that many people think that time in school could be better spent learning skills that would be more beneficial to a child later on in their life. And then typing has become increasingly important in this world we live in today. So the time that they used to spend teaching cursive could definitely be put towards teaching typing instead. However, the positive aspects of cursive handwriting are too great for it to be just thrown out the window. Cursive has been praised by many that are in the school systems for different benefits. First off, it's very efficient and it's neater usually than print. Many people prefer cursive when they're taking notes or writing essays for standardized tests. I know for sure when I was in high school, they would always, for AP or like ACT, SAT, be like, oh, if you can write in cursive, definitely do that because it's a lot quicker. And when you're in a time crunch, it's the way to go. And same with taking notes in class. Plus, writing in cursive is also just impressive and respected these days, honestly. A lot of older people write in cursive still, and I know like all my grandma's recipes are in cursive, and I love that, but you don't see it too often with people our age these days. Teaching cursive to young children has also been proven to be very beneficial, and this is explained in an article written by Samuel L. Blumenfield. And he stated that a child's reading abilities can be improved by this, and that's because since cursive has a word as one fluent thing and not like separated by letters as it is in print, children will look more at the word itself and not at the individual letters. And this is the goal of teaching young children to read anyway, is to see things as words and not just as letters, so cursive helps like put this together for them. And then the look of cursive also allows for certain letters to be noticeably different from one another, when sometimes in print it's hard to tell whether they wrote this or that. In addition, less errors are expected to be made since each word is continuous and the individual letters are less likely to be switched around. For example, B and D in cursive, you have a totally different way of writing it, as opposed to in print, you can see a lot of young children will flip them because they have the line and then either this way or this way, when in cursive it's totally different. Cursive handwriting also presents itself as a good form of art. Some languages use more of an artistic approach to their written language, such as like Chinese with their symbols, and they're read more as like words and not individual letters. I don't know a whole lot of detail about that, but you know, you've all heard it. And it's kind of similar in a way to cursive, how things, as I said earlier, are seen more as words and not as individual letters. And this is also just something really beautiful made out of just an everyday task, and you just don't usually get that effect with print. And part of this idea also includes the history of handwriting, and this is described by Jenny Cohen in an article that I found on history.com. The Romans were actually the first to create a written script. Some of this is similar to the modern cursive we have now, not print, but cursive. And after the fall of the Roman Empire, handwriting became specialized and was only performed by those who were very educated. And then even in our own American history, some of our most important documents are written in cursive, such as the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution. So it's kind of crazy to think that some people who are growing up in today's world won't even be able to read that. And to me, that just seems unacceptable since it's so important to our nation's history. So to review, I explained why some people don't think that cursive is necessary to be taught in schools anymore. And I discussed the benefits of learning cursive, and I explained how cursive is important in an artistic and a historical context. So cursive is too important to be taken out of schools' curriculums. And since we are some of the last people that can fight for this cause, since we're some of the last to be taught it, I suggest that we do. Otherwise, some of our greatest tradition and history is in jeopardy.